Welcome back to BVarsity Live at the TVC Media Studios, and we have said goodbye to the Frontier Wrestlers. We brought in the Bakersfield High Wrestlers, and it's Coach Frank Lomas. It's also Navonte Demison and Izzak, Olejnik, who are seeded wrestlers again in the Doc B this weekend, which starts Friday at Clovis High School. Coach, let's start with you. It's that time of year. I mean, I guess it's the Doc B to me sort of feels like the halfway point of the wrestling season, and after this, you get into the league, and you're really starting to count down to that state meet after this, aren't you?
Yeah, right around now is probably like our toughest part of our schedule. We got Doc B, and then next week we have Temecula, which is just as tough tournament, bigger tournament, but pretty tough. So we're just trying to get the kids ready and focused because we haven't had that hard of a push yet. So hopefully we're just getting them ready and getting them ready for these next 2 weeks, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
And then kind of focus on the league matches, and there's a little time off in there between the duels and things like that. Navonte, you are number one in the state at 132 pounds. Is that where you're ranked right now?
I was ranked at 26s.
You were ranked at 26s, okay. But you're wrestling 38s this weekend.
Yeah.
138. So what's the ultimate goal for you weight-wise? Let's ask you that first. 32s?
No matter what weight I go, it's still the same goal. Just want to win a state title.
Right. Yeah, and that's obviously after you finish second one year, there's nowhere else to go but one more spot. And we watched you last year reach that state final, win a lot of close matches, lose in the final, and then beat the guy you lost to in the final a week later in nationals. How much does that experience fuel you, knowing, okay, not only were you so close, but you had the talent to beat the guy. You proved it the following week.
Yeah, it was kind of frustrating for me because I lost a guy the week before, and then a few weeks later I go and beat him. But it was kind of bittersweet because I lost him at state, and then I beat him and ended up winning a national title. So
you'll take a national title.
Yeah,
take that. By the way, I love. We were talking about this. I love the hat. It's like the old, not the real old, but like maybe
the 1990s,
late 90s Padres hat.
Yeah,
but it's the BD for Bakersfield Drillers instead. I like that. Izzak, a freshman last year. Man, the state meets a meat grinder. It's especially true for freshmen. What have you learned? How are you better this year, you think?
Just staying focused and, just like last year coming up short, I think 2 matches. Just working harder this year and just learning from, like, older guys.
Yeah. And you are the number 4 pre-seed at 106 pounds this weekend. What do you expect to get out of the Doc B? Obviously, you're going to be facing some of the best guys in the nation, some of whom you'll be seeing later on too. But what do you hope to get out of this weekend?
Just wrestle every match the same, and no matter who I wrestle, just keep going. It's just like a pre-state tournament. I mean, there's not going to be any easy matches. It's just keep wrestling.
It's a dress rehearsal for sure. And Navonte, I'll ask you, I know you, as number 1 seed, obviously expect to win it. Does it go beyond that? I mean, are you at that level where you expect to kind of dominate? Do you put that pressure on yourself?
It's not that I put that pressure on myself. I want to go into every match feeling the same way, whether I wrestle a guy who's not ranked in the state or I wrestle the number 2 ranked guy, the number 1 ranked guy in the state. I want to go into every match knowing that I have to win this match.
Mm-hmm. And that is pressure in and of itself. I mean, it obviously is. But have you sort of learned to deal with that over the last couple of years because you've had big matches?
It's not. I don't think you don't really learn to deal with it. You just learn to,
make it easier.
Yeah, you just got to wrestle.
You just get used to it, I guess. Yeah. Frank, you were in that position as a wrestler one day. What do you tell these guys when they wrestle their big matches?
It's a lot different being on the other side.
You told me before it's harder.
It is harder. For me, when I wrestled, I was able to I can control myself.
Right.
But now watching these guys, I can't necessarily control how he wrestles or how he wrestles, and it's a little bit harder. So I got to try to stay as calm as I can so that they don't see me nervous. But sometimes I do get like that, and they both handle it well. Mm-hmm. They kind of feed off those tougher matches. They enjoy them. They look forward to them.
You ever done the Mike Tomlin where you want to like step out onto the mat and like just do something real quick, change, move your arm here?
I've been trying to stay as calm as I can now because like we were at Ironman, and that was just one of the toughest tournaments I've ever witnessed for high school level, and I was just trying to stay calm because I was like, this is a long season, so I don't want to be I don't want to yell and lose my voice yet, so I'm just going to stay calm as long as I can.
Guys, what was that like at the Ironman, Izzak?
It was an experience. I mean, great wrestlers all around, and every match, like from first match to the last match, just same wrestlers. Just
It's like wrestling a finals match anywhere
Pretty
else,
much,
pretty
yeah.
much. How about you, Navonte? What was that
I
like?
wrestled a lot of tough guys, and you just kind of had wrestling in big tournaments like that. You just have to go one match at a time, and win or lose, you just have to keep wrestling.
Is that somewhere you guys have wanted to go for a while? A trip you've wanted to take for a while?
Yeah.
Why did it work out this year?
We talked about it. Andy Varner talked about it with me, and we were going to send Bryce Martin. That we were talking about like around then. We wanted to go then, and then but that tournament's so hard to get into. You have to put in your entries. I think Coach Varner put these guys in like around April last year.
Wow.
So I mean, it's a tough tournament,
And they don't take everybody either.
They don't,
Yeah.
and it's we only took 4. We took 4 kids, and they all did really well. But it was
Who are the
just
other two? JJ and Sam?
JJ and Sam.
Okay.
And it was just a tough tournament. We got them in, and we're probably going to end up going next year and taking a few more.
Yeah. Speaking of JJ and Sam, JJ Figueroa is a junior. He's number 3, pre-seeded at 132, and then Sam Loera, also a junior, number 4 at 160. So you have a number of top 4 guys. Antonio Gutierrez, number 5 at 182 this weekend. Seeds are just numbers. We know that. What are you hoping as a coach to see from these guys this weekend? It's a dress rehearsal, so maybe the actual results don't matter as much, but they'd be nice too.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because we got a few guys switching weights too, switching around. We just really want to see them compete and fighting really in every position. We know they're going to end up having a tough match here or there, whether it's in championship or consolation, and we just want them to wrestle their hardest and fight the whole way through. And then after the tournament, we'll go back and look what we need to work on and keep working until we get to state.
Frank, for you, I mean, you've been to Doc B, probably a dozen times in your life.
Yeah.
And every year, Doc Floyd B. Buchanan has been there every year.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, he passed away last year over the summer. It's going to be a different feel. Obviously, he's there every year. He hands out the cowboy hats and the buckles.
Listen, Clovis boy. Nobody.
No. I'm just wondering.
No, it is. Yeah.
I mean, have you talked to Adam Terapelli about? Is there going to be something different? I mean, it is a very unique thing. You think about all the years they've been doing
is.
it. He's not
I
going to
joke
be there,
about
and
it,
I'm
but
not
yeah.
trying to be sentimental. Oh, well, actually, I am trying to be sentimental because here's a guy that in Central Section is probably the most influential in getting the Central Section to where it is athletically, and it's going to be different without him. Have they talked about what's going to happen Saturday night?
A few emails that he sent through like the seating, and we were sending our entrance in. I think they said they're donating a mat or something, their big mat to him, or putting his name or something like that on it. But I'm pretty sure they'll do something to honor him in some way.
I see the mat with the circle is the top of the hat, and then the brim of the hat goes around the outside.
That would be great.
yeah.
Or
Oh,
like
that would
maybe
be sweet.
a lasso would be the outside
Yeah,
of the
there you
mat.
go.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it is. You're absolutely right, though. This is a tournament named after him and the guy who's built that school district up there. I wanted to get back, though, to weights for a minute. You said you're shifting around weights. Do you guys have a whiteboard somewhere? I know you have to have a hydration test done, and there's only certain weights guys can go down to. Do you sit there and say, well, we think he can get down there, and he's allowed to get down there. We don't think he'll be able to get down. So we want our postseason lineup to look like this, assuming everybody's healthy. Or does it just sort of happen on its own? I mean, is there a plan?
We always, myself and Coach Varner, I know we kind of look forward in the future. So like after we're done with, let's say like nationals, we look at what we kind of jump forward, like what's our lineup going to look like next year?
And you have no idea how much these guys will grow. For one
we
thing.
don't.
Yeah,
And initially what we thought was what we thought, and then all of a sudden we have guys like Navonte who just starts growing. Sam who just kind of, once we started working out a lot, just started losing weight.
Right.
Naturally.
He's been at 60s for 3 straight years.
Freshman year. And he initially wanted to go 70s in the offseason. We're like, if you get up to 70, we'll let you do it. And now since he's working, he's gotten that weight off. JJ's all over the place kind of with his weight, like where we think he's getting up there, and then all of a sudden, once the season starts, he's starting losing weight too. Mm-hmm. And like I'm saying, he was going 38s and wrestling.
Right.
Those,
you flipped these two.
They flipped
mid-season.
JJ went out and wrestled the number 4 ranked kid in the nation at Ironman at 38s, and he lost 1-0, and that kid beat everyone by 8 or more, even in the finals.
That's incredible.
And so he can compete. These two can compete with anybody, but he wrestles well. He can wrestle well when he has to lose some weight. And we think that he'd be able to perform pretty good at 32s. And with Navonte at 38s, if you think he's tough when he's cutting weight, like you should see him when he's not cutting weight.
So it's very fluid, in other words. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
sort of and obviously you guys have an input on it too. Izzak, you don't really because you're just going to be the little guy. That's-
But he can't. We're waiting for him to hit his growth spurt. you know?
yeah.
Don't do it. Stay there. Be that
Can
that
you
senior
tell
at
though
106.
that compared to last year, you're in the same weight class. You're stronger relative
Yeah,
to those
I
guys,
can,
right?
I can definitely feel it this year. I mean, last year I was, like weighing 108. The weight's 108.
Uh-huh.
This year it's a little bit more, weighing like, I don't know, 115, cutting down.
Hey.
But last night I had a great Firestone meal, so
How'd you get in? Isn't that line around the corner?
there's no line.
Wow. All right, I'm going.
Wow. They just let him to the front. They say that's Izzak Olejnik. Let him
Yeah.
to the front. Navonte, I guess you can probably tell over the summer, hey, I'm getting taller, I'm getting bigger. I mean, do you think about what weight class you're going to go, or do you, I sort of saw you shrug when Frank was talking, like, you know what, whatever I go, I go.
Yeah, it's not really what weight I want to go. I just want to wrestle. And I knew 'cause when I was wrestling 32s, and it was kind of hard getting down that weight. In the last few weeks, like I've had a lot of aches and pains, and like I felt like I started growing more. And
You can
and
almost feel the bones
yeah, and
growing.
then my weight started coming up and going up and going up, and then now it started getting a lot harder to go 32. So I feel like that's why that played a big part. And I knew both my coaches, they felt like I would wrestle better at 38s, and I'd feel better at 38. So.
Look at him. He's just got a whole bunch of extra weight on him, too.
He does. He's got so much energy. It's almost like I wish he was just cutting weights. It wouldn't be.
All right, well, hey, we're going to bring you guys back for another segment. Let's take a break on BVarsity Live. We'll be back for segment 3 right after this.